are the planet's dominant terrestrial predators, and they are everywhere. No one can say how many roam the Earth, but there are nearly 40,000 known species of spider, and their combined number could be in the tens of billions. Spiders are mysterious, stealthy, and potentially dangerous creatures. To some, they embody our worst fears and nightmares. For arachnophobes, those nightmares are all-consuming. When a spider appears, a door in their mind opens into a black world where logic and reason are replaced by panic and irrational terror.
Spiders terrify me. Spiders are evil, they're venomous, they can inflict bodily harm, and they just terrify me. I have a very big phobia of spiders.
Adrienne is an arachnophobe. Her fear is so excessive that just a glimpse of a spider throws her into a state of panic.
Most people can control their fears, and if they're irrational, they know they're irrational, yet I know some of mine are irrational, yet I can't control them.
Scientists around the world are trying to unlock the secrets of anxiety and fear. They're gradually finding answers by examining human behavior, genetics, and the mechanics of the brain. Neuroscientist Michael Fancelow studies the origins of fear at his laboratory at the University of California, Los Angeles.
We have drugs that can inhibit fear, very good drugs for turning fear off, but they're suppressing a symptom. And they're not a cure for the fear. When you take them, yes, you'll be less afraid, and that's a way of dealing with the fear, but they're not an antibiotic. They won't make the fear go away. When you stop taking the drugs, the fear will still be there. It may even be worse, because now the brain is released from this inhibition that these drugs cause.
Fear is a necessary part of our survival instinct. But why do natural fears sometimes turn into full-blown phobias? The causes vary with each individual. Usually, though, people either inherit the fear, learn it from others, or they suffer trauma that involves the feared animal. It was trauma that triggered Adrienne's chronic nightmares of spiders.
I haven't always been afraid of spiders. I didn't become afraid of spiders until after I was bitten.
In March 1997, Adrienne suffered a wound that resembled a bite of a hobo spider, a spider with venom so toxic it dissolves flesh. Worried, Adrienne took a picture of her leg in case it worsened. It did. Over the next few weeks, the blister turned black and festered. She began to feel faint and suffered from headaches. She ended up in the emergency room.
They cut around the debris of the wound and took out the contaminated flesh.
Adrienne's physical pain was short-lived, but her mental pain has got worse, much worse. Once an outgoing person, she now dreads leaving her home in Boise, Idaho. Her uncontrollable fear has damaged her life and strained her marriage.
I feel like I'm going to drive my husband crazy by making him have to kill every spider I see, or screaming or something when I do see one.
She just freezes. It's frustrating sometimes, not understanding. I mean, how come you just can't go smash that spider? Why are you being such a sissy, you know? Kill the damn thing.
But Adrienne can't kill a spider. Any sign or sight of one paralyzes her.
That's a brown recluse spider. He has these two little black fangs.
She has never sought professional help, for fear she would have to confront her nemesis. But now, at her husband's urging, she has finally decided to get treatment.
Ew.
She is going to try a unique form of therapy that combines a proven therapeutic method with virtual reality technology.
I'm willing to do almost anything to get over my fear of spiders. I just would love to be back to who I was prior to being bitten.
But Adrienne is convinced she can't be cured.
At this moment in time, I cannot imagine that I would ever not be afraid of spiders. I just don't think it's possible.
Phobias are amplified versions of common fears. And a terror of spiders is one of the most common fears of all. But where does our fear come from? Humans have obvious advantages of size, strength, and intelligence, yet spiders terrify many of us. Very few spiders are harmful to humans. In fact, only 30 to 35 species have venom poisonous enough to injure us. Deaths from spider bites are rare. Yet globally, many people revile these creatures. Some say much of this is driven by a fear that's been passed down from our ancestors. Perhaps early humans observed certain spider behaviors that appeared threatening. The fact is, all spiders are carnivores and killers. Some trap their victims in their webs and then wrap them in cocoons. Others ambush and strike their prey, killing them with lethal venom. Some spiders are even cannibalistic, devouring their own. A handful can eat small vertebrates, such as birds. But spiders mainly feed on insects, not on human beings. Adrienne's arachnophobia will be treated at the University of Washington in the city of Seattle. But before her therapy begins, she agrees to undergo a preliminary MRI scan. Her doctors want to study how fear works in the human brain.
Keep your eyes open, keep your head very still, and just...
Dr. Hunter Hoffman is the lead researcher and designer of the virtual reality Spiderworld program. The goal is to see how Adrienne's mind physically responds to fearful images. To trigger brain activity, Adrienne is bombarded with pictures of spiders while she lies inside the MRI tube.
So each one of these is a different slice that we're going to get of the brain.
Scientists have discovered that fear begins in the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure in the brain. The amygdala recognizes threats and sends alarm signals to the rest of the brain and body. In an emergency, it takes over.
The amygdala isn't really concerned about what we think of as rational. When it's activated, there's an emergency. It wants to shut down deliberation about things. It wants us to respond very automatically because we're in a critical situation.
In phobics, the amygdala works overtime. It is triggered by sights and sounds that remind it of earlier frightening situations. So when Adrienne even thinks she sees a spider, her amygdala goes into overdrive.
Certainly that's a problem when it's not a situation that we need to really protect ourselves and that we're not really threatened and the amygdala takes over. That's not what we want.
When Adrienne completes her therapy, she will be scanned again so her doctors can compare any changes in her brain if her fear abates. The next day, Adrienne starts her therapy. She will confront dozens of digital spiders in a virtual world. Adrienne chose this program because it doesn't involve real spiders, at least most of the time. To get a measure of her fear, Adrienne will first try to approach a very large, very real tarantula. Adrienne has never seen a live tarantula before.
Walk towards the spider.
enough to a spider that I can see the hair on its legs. I'm close enough for extreme discomfort.
Can you tell me your anxiety level from 0 to 100?
100. That was it. I stopped at that point, and my heart was pounding, my hands were shaking, and I just wanted to turn around and run away as fast as I could.
The closest Adrienne could get to the tarantula was a full 13 feet away.
Did you have any physical sensations?
I'm still shaking.
Trembling from that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I just want to know where it is, and I want to make sure that it's put away somewhere, and I don't want to be anywhere in the same vicinity of it.
But soon, Adrienne will force herself to enter a computer-generated world where she will confront her nightmare over and over again. Reality program that will trigger Adrienne's worst fears. That's deliberate. If Adrienne can train herself to stay calm around spiders made of pixels, she may also learn to cope with the real thing. She enters Spider World through a special helmet that lets her see a three-dimensional view of a kitchen. Clinical psychologist Al Carlin guides Adrienne through this computer-generated minefield.
So here we are in the virtual world, Adrienne, and what I'd like you to do is take a minute to look around. Where you move your head to look is what you're going to see. Using the joystick, move forward. You see anything on the counter?
Yes, I do.
What do you see?
I see a plant and a spider.
Can you get a little closer to it?
The key is to desensitize Adrienne to spiders by having her confront them.
Back up for a minute.
Dr. Carlin will walk her through each step,
Their bodies-
teaching her relaxation skills that could help calm her fears.
Jump off the table
Okay.
and crawl on me.
In Spider World, the blow will be softened because these spiders aren't real. But they're realistic enough to trigger Adrienne's phobic response.
Where's your anxiety now, 0 to 100?
85, I can start seeing its little features of its face, like fangs. I feel shaky. My heart is pounding. I'm short, rapid breaths.
How are your hands?
Cold, clammy.
How about
I feel
your
kind
heart?
of shaky.
Now that Adrienne is in a state of fear,
Okay.
Dr. Carlin teaches her how to control her anxiety.
And what I'd like you to do is to take a deep breath, hold it for a minute, and then breathe out slowly. As you breathe out, it almost may feel to you like your anxiety is going out with your breath. So keep looking at the spider. Just back up for a minute now. Where's your anxiety now, 0 to 100?
About 50.
Okay.
Throughout this first session, Adrienne repeatedly inches her way toward and away from the spider. The repetition is supposed to help her feel less threatened.
One of the strange things about anxiety is that if you run away from it, it grows stronger. If you run towards it, it loses its power.
So Dr. Carlin urges Adrienne to keep facing the virtual spider.
Use the joystick and go as close to that guy to get your anxiety back up to an 80 again. How about now, where's your anxiety?
About 80 again.
"400 million years of evolution have resulted in a creature that is wily and innovative. Spiders spin silk, breed fast, and colonize virtually every niche. They are found on the peaks of Mount Everest, in ponds, caves, and the desert. For arachnophobes like Adrienne, the inescapability of spiders is constant fuel for waking nightmares. And her nightmares are so frightening, they seem impossible to escape. Adrienne enters her second day of therapy feeling worried and agitated. Today's exercises are daunting.
So everywhere you move your hand,
A sensor is attached to her finger so she can manipulate a cyber hand in the virtual world. Her goal today is to touch and move a virtual spider.
When I first went in there, I had so much anxiety. When he told me I was going to have to try to touch the spider, my anxiety level would start to peak again, and I couldn't imagine that I was going to be able to do this.
Sort of even lean forward and reach a little bit.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Huh? You're afraid?
Yeah.
What happens to your anxiety when you reach out?
My heart starts beating faster and my toes are curling. I'm dreading watching it run into my hand and up my sleeve.
Okay. You're further away than you think. A little closer, maybe. Reach out, reach out, reach out. Okay.
I moved
You
it.
did that? He moved away from you, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Once I touched it, instead of being more scared, it was like a relief.
Where's your anxiety now?
It's not where I thought it would be,
Where is it? 0 to 100.
around 60.
See if you can make him disappear into the wall.
Oh,
We'll
I thought
guess.
it was jumping in my hand.
Day 3. Reality and the virtual spider world collide.
Bring it out.
When Adrienne touches the digital spider she sees in her goggles, she will feel something spidery with her fingertips.
I don't know what I'm touching.
Why don't you reach out and touch as if you were touching the virtual spider?
In my mind, I'm seeing that real tarantula that I saw downstairs. I don't want to touch it. It could be a real spider.
Do what you can to bring your anxiety back down. Okay, and then reach out and touch the guy again.
Okay, I touched it.
Okay.
Even though this therapy is much more realistic, her panic has visibly decreased. Adrienne is learning to control her fear.
Reach out, okay. 0 to 100.
After 3 intense sessions, she successfully completes Spider World.
Good, we're done.
It's not as scary as I pictured it.
Adrienne's therapy trained her to respond to spiders without engaging the panic reaction that had been imprinted on her brain. For researchers like neuroscientist Michael Fancelot, this raises an interesting question. Are anxiety disorders a psychological or a physiological problem?
This is the mind-body question. As a scientist, I don't think of those things as different. The mind is the brain. The reason we have mind is the brain. So the separation between it being psychological or neurological or neurobiological, to me, aren't distinctions. They're just different levels of analysis of talking about the same thing. So if you ask me about fear, I might answer you by saying, oh, it's because of this experience producing this behavior and these memories. Or I might answer in a different way and say that certain cells in the basolateral amygdala now have changed their responsivity to their inputs. There's just different explanations of the phenomenon at different levels.
Now the researchers want to see if there are any detectable changes in how Adrienne's brain responds to spiders. They perform a second MRI brain scan. Before therapy, fear-related activity, represented by the red zones, appeared in key regions of her brain. After the Spider World treatment, most of the red spots were gone. These findings may contribute to the burgeoning field of brain research. As scientists continue to map these neural pathways, they one day may unravel the complexities of human fears and other emotions. Professor Michael Fancelot is confident this will happen.
We now know how information is getting to these cells, that there are specific changes that happen in those cells, that those things are necessary for you to have emotional memories. So we really know quite a bit. And yes, there's lots more, and I think the future is very optimistic, because as we get this information, we may be able to now have very fine-tuned treatments.
But for Adrienne, a critical question remains. Will these laboratory results hold up in the real world? Adrienne is about to find out as she faces her final test. Once again, seeing how close she can get to the giant tarantula.
Okay, great. So you can put it back on.
Adrienne takes an unexpected leap. Instead of putting back the lid, she reaches out.
My fear of spiders previous to the therapy would keep me from doing a lot of things. And now I feel like I have a lot more doors open for me to experience new things. I don't have that fear anymore.
Adrienne has exceeded her best expectations, actually touching the creature that just days ago sent shivers down her spine.
Your anxiety was all the way down to a 5.
I told you I was determined.
Not all phobics are so fortunate. It can take months or even years to topple an irrational fear. Will humans ever accept spiders as necessary and beneficial parts of the natural order? Perhaps not. Fear is a basic emotion, an ancient alarm system. Our conscious minds may know better, but deep down where our nightmares grow, the fear of spiders may never go away.